everyone. This is Linda Ferguson
and Karen Nelson-Bell.
And welcome to another edition of Platinum Prime for Life, your show where Karen and I share our tips, our tricks, and our life hacks so that we live a Platinum Prime life and so that you can as well. Hey, so Karen, today we're going to do one of your favorite types of episodes, which is a book review.
Yep.
And I got to choose because it's my turn. So we try and choose books that have had an impact on our lives and ones that we can share with you and see if perhaps something about what we got out of the book is something you would like in your life. This week, it is a book called The 5-Second Rule. It's a famous book by Mel Robbins. She did a very famous TED Talk on the subject. And here is the book. And I'm that far along in it. But the cover kind of tells it all. What the heck is the 5-second rule?
That's a great cover, by the way.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I can think of different books that I bought them just because of the cover. One of them was
Yeah. Okay.
It was platinum. It was made out of platinum. It was a platinum covered color, multiple streams of income. And multiple streams of income, the cover made me buy the book. And that book is a great cover. And that just tells me I have to make my cover better. My cover has to get better. That's a simple, beautiful, simple cover.
Yes, it is. And it stands out, and it's actually gold, shiny, white, and it has these little radiant bursts that go behind it. Yes, it's nice. That's not why I bought it, though. Why did I buy it? I bought it because someone who I look to as a mentor, someone I've done some training with, said it was life-changing for her. And I thought, well, I'm curious. Let's see what it is. So here's the thing about this particular book. This particular book goes over the 5-second rule, how it came about for the author, Mel Robbins, and then different areas that she implemented it in her life. So I'm just going to cut to the chase on what the 5-second rule is, and then a little bit about what's behind it. And then I'm going to ask you and you, Karen, if you think this is true for you. All right?
All right.
So 5-second rule. 5-second rule is the rule that you implement between thinking an action thought, like, that's something I've got to do, and then pulling the trigger to do it. In her case, in Mel Robbins' case, she had had a very successful, booming life. As a speaker, she was being interviewed, she was consulting, and suddenly things changed on the planet, and it impacted her so severely that she got to a point where she was about to lose it all. She had negative finances, things were horrible, and she found that every morning she dreaded what she had to handle for the rest of the day because it was just so horrible, and she felt like such a failure. And that action kept things dwindling. The spiral kept getting tighter and tighter and further down. So in the middle of the night, because she wasn't sleeping well, she saw a rocket that was about to blast off. And the countdown was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. And that was when she thought, what if I just take that approach to my life and make a decision to get better? And I'm going to use the countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 second at a time, blast off, and then just do it. Stop thinking and just do the thing. So that's the 5-second rule. And should you read the book? Yes, you should read the book, because reading a book gives you moments between thinking your own thoughts and then seeing how other people have applied it and then thinking your own thoughts about how it could impact you. It's a good thing. Reading is a good thing. I'm sitting with a best-selling author as my co-host here, so she agrees with me, right, Karen?
I do. What you just said just stirred my heart. I can only imagine if Mel were to hear you say what you just said, it would be very significant and important for her. She may or may not know you, she may not know who you are, she may. But even if you were just uh, even if you weren't the influencer that you are, if you were just a reader, to have had that impact is the dream of every author, whether they're writing nonfiction, self-help, or fiction, mysteries, romance novels. Anytime that you've reached somebody else with the words on a printed page or a digital copy, I mean, whatever is your pleasure, digital or paper, uh, it's significant to the author, and it just stirred me. It made me so happy that you had that response, because books change lives. Reading changes lives. Thank you, Mom, for making me into a voracious reader. She read a book a day, sometimes two, to make up for the fact that they didn't have enough money for her to go to the university. And so she was an avid reader, and when I was a child, we would take trips, walk to the library. We lived near the library, and in the summertime, there was a program where you got stars or rewards for reading as many who could read the most books. And that was how I passed my summers, was seeing how many books I could read. So books and reading, the love of reading, changes a person's future, without any doubt. Without any doubt. What you just said was so important to me.
Then you're welcome. I'm glad I said it. And I'm going to say it again and in a different way. The difference between gaining knowledge through reading a book or taking a course or being in a room where the the knowledge is dripped out to you from someone who has experience or who you consider as a teacher arrives much more permanently than in today's social media society, where 3-minute videos is a long video and 90 seconds is very often how you get a piece of knowledge that you need immediately, or you consider you do. So invest in books, and physical books, not ones that you have on your Kindle, which I have both, lots of physical books, and I have the same exact title on a Kindle. Why do I have a physical book? Because this seeing things in my library reminds me of the lessons I've learned from the book. And if it were out of sight on my Kindle and I'm not looking at that title, it doesn't create the same effect on me. So now let's get back.
Basically, my process is get it on Kindle, read it, and if I love it, add it to my physical library.
Okay. I actually go the opposite, which is, yeah, whatever. We still kind of wind up in the same place. Valuable knowledge winds up on our shelves. Something that we're not quite fond of gets recycled to someone else who might find value in it. Very, very good. I am an audiobook girl, so the 90% of what I consume is via audiobooks, audio podcasts, and so on. Very
I
much
love
a
I
digital
love audiobooks, and I've recorded many audiobooks. That's how I survived COVID, was by narrating audiobooks for other authors and also narrating my own books. I've never narrated the bestseller Nothing Down for Women, but I've narrated all my other books, and it's my favorite way. It's so wonderful, I just love it.
Me too. I love it. So now let's talk about 5-second rule.
Which is
Between
different from the food going on the floor.
what's that?
Well, there's a rule, a 5-second rule. For all moms know the 5-second rule for food.
Different rule, Karen.
Rule, right? If it hits the floor at 5 seconds, you can eat it within 5 seconds.
I have heard that rule. I've never applied that rule. That rule grosses me out, but yeah. Okay. Now, you're shocked. Well, I have a dog, so 5-second rules do not exist in my world. Anyway. But here's a 5-second rule. There's actually something, and if you think about it, this something that I'm talking about exists in all of us. And it is that gap, that minuscule gap between deciding to do something and then taking some action on it. And that minuscule gap is the moment that you talk yourself out of it. You begin okay, I'm going to be a success at this. Next thought, but what if you're not, right? Now, I am going to safely assume that the vast majority of people listening to this message fall into that category. I'm going to do it. This speaker inspired me. This book inspired me. This experience inspired me. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a successful real estate investor. And then the very next moment is but what if you're not? All right. And if you stay in that second moment, you'll talk yourself out of it, or you'll talk yourself down from the ledge that you were about to jump off of that would change your life. And so when you do that, when you talk yourself out of it, what happens next? What do you think, Karen?
I think it's a sad story from that point if you talk yourself out of it. I mentioned the cover of Multiple Streams of Income. At the end of the book, Robert Allen offered to mentor anybody who would win the opportunity to study with him by creating he called it vivid vision. You had to write your vivid vision of what your future was going to look like. And it had to include sensations and tastes and smells and it's concrete things. And what I didn't know was that anybody with $5,000 could be mentored by him. But I did win, of course. And it was right the minute that I finished reading the book, I took the action and I sent in my vivid vision. And 4 months and 9 days later, my husband and I were millionaires. And so I've seen with my own eyes the consequences of doing the thing, but I've also seen the consequences otherwise of other books that I didn't do it. Now, I'm happy to say I also read a book by one of our favorite doctors, which prompted me to lose the 101 pounds that I lost. So that book resonated with me too, with great results. So I'm here to tell you that a book can change you, and not thought, but that thought can change you for the less happy consequences. I mean, it just means nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Good. And having thought a great thought and then talked yourself out of it, what does that do to your own personal self-esteem? What does that do to your own?
You don't trust yourself.
Yeah. Your level of courage.
You stop trusting yourself.
Is that good? That's terrible.
No. It's not good. It's not good. We don't want that. Give me a sample of a good one for you and a bad one for you.
A good one, what? Trusting
A
myself?
sample of action in 5 seconds and not taking the action in 5 seconds.
Well, I'll just tell you, how has my life changed from beginning to read this book and forcing myself to apply the 5-second rule and not? So for me, exercise has not been something I'm naturally drawn to. In fact, I can talk myself out of it fairly easily. In fact, it's remarkable how easily I can say, oh, I've got so many other things I need to do right now, so I actually can't take the time. Anyway, since starting this book, my husband and I took a weekend long bike ride. He rides literally every day for 5 to 10 miles, usually 10 miles a day. And I have an almost brand new bike that I've ridden a few times. But anyway, so did that, and it was wonderful. And while he was really worried because he knows that I'm not out there like pumping iron and trying to go to the gym every second, I'm definitely, yeah, honey, I'm going to go to the gym. And then, are you going to the gym? No, you not. I had some other things that came up. I couldn't do it. To we're planning a weekend, and he says, well, I'll believe it when your bike's ready to go. And got my bike ready, and we went and had a wonderful time, wonderful adventure. So the whole thing was wonderful. To swimming in a beautiful swimming pool that we take care of constantly, and it gets rarely used after our grandchildren moved away. I'm out there swimming now. I am doing exercises to keep my knees healthy and all of me healthy. So the exercise level has really gone up, and this is me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'll do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
That is so cool.
Yeah, what a difference. And guess what else? My sleep has improved. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What the hell? My sleep's better. And again, I've done so many handlings on my sleep, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And I've tried exercise in the past, and it hasn't necessarily impacted my sleep positively, but just the consistent, it's not over the top exercise. It's just consistently hearing in the background 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then getting to bed on time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go to bed, Linda. That is improving things. So that's for me personally.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, so let me just ask you, because you said there were books that you were inspired by that you didn't take action on. The one book that you did that had a life-changing, huge impact on you was Multiple Streams of Income, right? Is that
Yes.
one? Okay. In your own life today, do you have something similar to the 5-second rule? Because I know you really are great at starting and completing projects, except for your next book, which is still ready to
Well,
go.
that's such a funny thing that you say that, Linda, because Robert, my co-author, he wrote a book a year ago called Number One Bestseller. That's what it's called. #1 bestseller. And he gives away all the secrets of how an author can create a bestseller, because bestsellers are not accidental. They are created, especially in the nonfiction world. And he reveals and takes away the curtains from all the tactics that we used to make my book be a bestseller. We made it be a bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reading this book, and I'm still sitting here without the book ready to go. I need to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need to do it every day. 5, 4, because a book you don't just write it in a day and launch it in a day. It's a series of steps. But that's if I could apply the 5-second rule instead of the 5-day. I've been applying the 5-month rule, I think. Or maybe it's a 5-week rule. That certainly is not it's certainly not the 5-second rule. And I need to do that on a daily basis, especially when it comes, the rest of the day is done. I have no more excuses, and it gets to be about maybe 6:30 or 7 in the evening, and I could say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do the freaking book. Follow what's in Bob's number one bestseller book, because there's strategies today that we didn't have. My book came out in 2007. There was no internet, and there was no Facebook. There was no TikTok. There was none of that. There's tools that you can use to make a bestseller. And I'm going to make a bestseller again because I know how to do it, but I'm not doing it. So that's the 5-second rule is what I need to apply.
Excellent. All right. So I am going to share ways that you might incorporate the 5-second rule into your life.
Okay.
And the share is from my personal experience and how it's been helpful to me. And perhaps it's useful to you as well. So one of the things that I do and I almost never follow until recently, is I have a calendar, and everyone has access to a calendar if you use Gmail or something similar to that. You can get a Google Calendar, and on it, you can schedule out pretty much as much of your week as you want. Put your important things on there, but also put the things that you need to accomplish that week to move you forward in wherever it is you're heading. And so I have time slots, and Google will give you little alerts. Well, it's time to do, it's time to start dinner. Or it's time to exercise, Linda. it's time to jump on the podcast with Karen. So those things are on my calendar. When they pop up, if I'm in the middle of something else, I tended to just ignore them or decide, no, I don't think so, not today. And sometimes there were valid reasons why not. But I never took the time to change the alert because I set up alerts for things. Now what happens is I look at what usual things I have scheduled for the week. So I usually do my planning on Mondays and my marketing setup on Mondays. I usually do this podcast with Karen, and there's video production after that. I usually do certain things on Wednesdays, Thursdays. You get the idea. And I put those on my calendar. Now, when those things pop up, today is shopping, cleaning, blah-de-de-blah day, I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. And the percentage of things that I accomplish has gone way up. So that's my particular usage right now. And I have some bigger projects coming up, excuse me, that both Karen and I are nerdy girls. We are much more into technology than maybe some of our contemporaries. And I have an idea for that, by the way, Karen, that I will 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it with you afterwards, which I think is actually really, really good for those of you who are watching, and also just for people of our generation. And we will share it in an upcoming episode. But when you have big plans, it means your life's about to get a lot busier, because if your calendar's filled like mine is already, adding something new to that or something more detailed, more thought out, step by step, means I've got to push and shove things around, so that not being lazy, not, putting things off, but getting it done now is what's going to move the needle for me in the future. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm using it more and more. I think it's such a valuable tool and has a capability of changing my life and your life too. So with that,
I love the idea. I also use calendars and reminders very heavily. I don't know what I would do with I don't know how people manage without a calendar and reminders, and I heavily use it. I mean, to the point where, completely agree with you. And I need to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. You're so right. You just gave me such a good idea.
I love it. Okay, good.
I need many more stuff onto my calendar. There's no space to squeeze more stuff.
Right. So you try it out. You let us know how it worked for you. And with that, it's our challenge for you to try it for yourself. Let us know how it works for you. And next week, we will share our results, and you can post the results that you're getting as well. All right, Karen, any final words before we end up for the week?
I don't. I think since it's your book review, you should give us some final words for the week.
The final words are, just do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do it. Okay, guys. We'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.